back to the middle of the field, lowers his shoulder, into the end zone, touchdown! He started left, cut back to the middle of the field, and he's into the end zone, and Jacksonville has taken the lead. Now it's going to be a direct snap to Travis Etienne, a little bit of a wildcat. He tries the middle of the field, keeps his feet, leans toward the goal line, touchdown! A 2-yard touchdown run out of the Wildcat, and Jacksonville has extended the lead. Empty backfield on first and goal from the 1.
Quarterback draws a possibility.
That's what it looks like, isn't it? It's just going to be a quarterback power right up the middle, touchdown. Trevor Lawrence just lowered his shoulder and pulled into the end zone. He was almost untouched. A 1-yard touchdown run, and Jacksonville has extended the lead. They fake the toss, they throw it back in the end zone. Caught for the touchdown! A play fake. Tim Patrick in the back of the end zone, a 1-yard touchdown pass. They've extended the lead. How good is that? And they run it with Etienne to the left side, to the 10, inside the 5-yard line, stretching for the pylon. Travis Etienne, touchdown! A touchdown run of 13 yards. Jacksonville's extended the lead. This one's been all Jaguars all day long at Everbank Stadium.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. The Jacksonville Jaguars are so powerful they have broken the internet. Denmark, what's the update? What's the story on internet outages and Twitter issues this morning?
We're not on Twitter currently, but we are on the YouTube and the Facebook.
So the young and the old can both enjoy Jaguars Today.
But not the middle.
Yeah, but not the middle. Yes, you can hop on one of those if you want. I don't know what's going on with Twitter, Tony. Couldn't tweet earlier. Then I couldn't attach a photo or a graphic. So go look for the question of the day out there and just plain text variety. Jeff Lageman is here, so it's all going to be great. Logs, how are you?
Good.
Yeah,
good. I mean,
should be good.
Yeah, after that game, it was tremendous.
Jaguar Nation should be just floating on a cloud for a couple days.
I'll admit that was a game that had me nervous. Chargers, a good football team, play good defense, like to play the game in a physical fashion, got a quarterback who is certainly accomplished, and the Jaguars owned them from beginning to end, and it was impressive the way that they did it for 60 minutes.
I agree. Easily their most complete game of the year. And if you had told me 35-6, I would have said, well, how many yards did Herbert throw for? 412 or something like that? Oh, you mean the Jaguars won it 35-6, and he threw for 81 yards, 0 in the second half. Stunning. I mean, the Jags did what they needed to do in many facets, but including, Jeff, dominating that third quarter. You know, coming out, not settling for a field goal, getting touchdown on the board, getting the Chargers get off the field 3 and out, and then going on another long drive immediately right after.
Yeah, I think it was almost like the entire second half domination. I think they had like 100 yards at the half, the Chargers did, and they ended up with 135. I mean, so 35 yards in the second half. And a lot of times when you have a game that kind of gets out of hand, I mean, you get the garbage yards. They weren't even getting garbage yards, which is like, what? I mean, that's how good it was. And
right.
So it was great to see the defense kind of play with a focus that I don't think that they've had yet this year. Because, you go back to that game in Houston, and it's obviously in a recent past, so you got to go back and kind of reflect on that a little bit. They couldn't get off the field. They couldn't stop anybody. And then here, game is that it's completely in control, with no reason to be like, oh, yeah, we got to be on our thing, like from beginning to end. And they had a focus that was just so sharp, even with that lead at the end of the game. They're like, no, they're not. You're not going to get anything on us. So credit the coaching staff, and I think a lot of credit goes to Liam because, I think a lot of times when you go through something like that, like they did at Houston, you have to have leadership. And you have to be able to be a great communicator to reach the players in a fashion that they respond. And clearly it worked, and clearly they responded.
It's the NFL, we talk about it being a week-to-week league, and I think what happened against the Chargers this weekend is another example of it being a week-to-week league. So you still try to figure out what should and shouldn't be taken away, even from a victory like that. Like, what does it say about the team going into the stretch here in the back half of the season with an opportunity to play pretty well with the matchups that they have. Like, they can be one of the teams that you're looking at going into playoffs going, they have real momentum, in the back half of the year. What does this tell you about the team with the way that they played Sunday?
Well, I think it shows, number one, what they're capable of, but it also confirms kind of what we already knew, and that this team needs to play the game in a certain way. And what I mean by that is that they have to have the physical control to be the more physical team for them to be at their best. And if they're not, then I think that they have a hard time with teams. And so the running game has got to be a big factor, in that game. The thing was like 183 yards rushing on 42 carries by the running backs, which is just dominant. And offensive line deserves a lot of credit there. But that's what this team is. They've got to play the game in that fashion because, the reality is that I don't know if they can compete in a shootout or go out there and be expected to score 28 points and a half, to be able to win a game. But, not many teams can do that anyway. But the passing game is still kind of a work in progress for this football team. Defensively, they're hanging on with some guys that are playing that they never thought would be playing at the beginning of the year. And they're doing a pretty good job. And they did a good job. I thought Campanelli did a really good job of simplifying things from a defensive standpoint because the reality is they had another injury in that game. When they lost Newsome in the beginning of the game, and all of a sudden, now you're playing with guys that hadn't really played, even more so in this past game. So credit to them. They did a really good job, and you could tell that the conversation of the lack of pass rush, I felt like the front was challenged. And I think when I say the front was challenged, I'm not talking about just the guys. I'm talking about the guys themselves, but also the coaching staff. They did a lot of different things this week as far as rotation-wise, who was active, who was not, making roster moves, et cetera. And that kind of sometimes that's a message. It's not necessarily meant to be a message, but the reality is that it is a message sometimes, and that what we're doing is not good enough. And so I thought they responded in strong form.
Will that be sustainable going forward? Is this a lesson learned now, or is this something that Liam Cohen's need to ride them to make sure that they stay kind of at this edge that they played with?
Yeah, I don't think he needs to ride them, so to speak, but I think that those guys on the defensive front need to realize that, hey, look, there's a standard that needs to be reached, and there's an expectation for certain guys. And I think Josh and Trayvon turned it up. I don't think there's any doubt. And I thought they got really, really quality snaps from B.J. Green, Danny Strigo. Obviously, Ogba had been active before. You guys remember me talking for weeks that, it's time to move on to one of these young guys and let them get snaps. Dickerson was activated off of the practice squad with Colin Saunders being released, and he got an opportunity. Not that he did anything great. And, I got to say this, Eric Armstead is playing well. Mm-hmm. And I thought this past game was his best game because he played the run in a couple instances in strong fashion. His pass rush continues to be good, and they're doing some different things. And they've been trying to do some different things up front from a rotational standpoint, but the snaps didn't really present themselves. But you're seeing Gardeck move at the edge, Trayvon kicking down in there with Eric Armstead, and then Josh staying outside. So you're seeing a little bit of that. And then with the rookies getting some snaps, they're doing some different things, and you got some hunger out there, and it was good to see.
Yeah, I think they needed that badly, right? Like, it was one of those things when the inactives came out and Ogba was inactive, I was like, finally. Right? Like, I don't know why it took 11 weeks in the regular season for them to come to terms. I could understand early in the season, let's see what we got, veteran presence, that kind of thing. But it had added so little to what they were doing up front that I think we were all eager to see, let the young guys have a chance to go do this. And when you put them on the field on Sunday, they played hungry. Right? Like, those guys were flying around when they had the opportunities to be on the field. Hopefully that is something that can pay some kind of dividends for him here over the last month and a half of the season.
Yeah, just a couple notes on those two guys. Strigo with his first career half sack. It was just an effort play. He gets cut, and then he bounces back up, which, I don't know necessarily if an older guy could have done it in that speed or that fashion, and gets involved in the play. I thought he played very well. B.J. Green, on his first sack, that was a penalty that, kind of a questionable call, but, it is what it is. That's the league today. He had a great move. We've said all along, you guys have heard me say that he's twitchy. Well, he did a nice power rush move on the right tackle, and it did what we call an arm lift. He lifted the outside arm and just powered the guy back and literally made the bend or the edge going around as a pass rusher. He basically made a straight line through what typically is an arc because of the strength that he had on that pass rush. And he made other plays that were of note, and especially on kickoff coverage. I mean, the first 3 kickoffs, you guys remember seeing Yasir Abdullah?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, makes the first 3 tackles, and really I thought started the game and started drives out in great fashion because it put the opponent back at I think it was the 22, the 23, and then the 25, and they were all Yasir Abdullah tackles. Well, B.J. Green was right there with them. So it was good to see some of those younger guys making an impact. Branson Combs also had an impact on kickoff coverage. So really strong performance by some of those young guys, and also strong performance by some guys that got an opportunity. And I mean, right there at the top of the list, I mean, it's not really a young guy, but it's Cole Van Lannon. He played outstanding.
Hold your thoughts on him because we got to get a break right here. We got a lot to get into with the Jaguars' outstanding performance against the L.A. Chargers. This is, of course, a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman, and we invite your questions if you want to get in on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. 641-1010 is the number. Also, the same number works for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stream us currently on YouTube and Facebook. I don't know. You can try Twitter. It might be up and working at some point in time, but Coach Denmark tells me not quite yet. And you can find us on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Logs56, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
All right, let's check the tape with Jeff Lageman. Send us your questions. We'll pass them along to Jeff or hop on the phone lines and ask him yourself. We're talking Jaguar football with you for the next 2 hours on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Any time of day is a good time for Dandy. Any time of day is a good time for breakfast as well. If you're a breakfast fan like me, love my French toast. Dandy does a great version of French toast. You want to get your day kicked off right with the cooler weather out there? How about a warm breakfast sandwich? And Dandy has a new product out, the Twin Pack Cinnamon Swirl and Country Sausage. Eat them both, share them with a friend. It's really up to you. It's ready to go in under a minute in the microwave. You get the sweet first, then the salty, delicious, addicting, yes, and hearty portions as well. Weighing in at 7 ounces. You're going to find them at your local daily stores all over Duval. So pop in, check those out. And, of course, Danny has a great selection of lunch options as well. Sandwiches, subs, light lunchtime wraps, sliders, you name it, they got a little something for everybody. Protein packs, veggie trays, salads, for food on the go. Dandy's the name to know in Duval. So when you get hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars
Today.
from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
We got ourselves a roster.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
They got to match eye attention.
On 1010XL.
Cool air and clean air. Getting out from under that Florida sun and cooling off inside is where Florida Home AC shines. Think about it. You spend a lot of time indoors, and air quality is crucial to your health and comfort. Pollutants like dust, pollen, germs, and allergens can build up, affecting your well-being. Florida Home is dedicated to enhancing your indoor experience with superior air quality solutions like whole home air purification systems. Find out by logging on to FloridaHomeAC.com or call 877-4300.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to restaprosanyflorida.com. That's restaprosanyflorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
You already know it's your main man E to the T here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reaction before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents, so let I-9 Sports help. They've got winter and spring registration open right now for kids all over the First Coast to enjoy their favorite sports. Log on to i9sports.com and don't miss out on the upcoming seasons. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Frank Frangie here to tell you about the coolest new thing, a putting green in my backyard that my friends at Sunshine Turf installed. Sunshine Turf can do the same for you. They'll come to your house, they'll create a custom design for your space, and you'll have an authentic golf course experience right in your own backyard. I freaking love it. Sunshine Turf is family owned and they made the process so simple. So visit sunshineturf.info or call them at 904-383-0243 and get a free quote today for your own putting green. Get it from Sunshine Turf.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farrah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, let's get into it on a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman. Loggy, let's make this today's 10-10 take right off the bat if Dylan Denmark's ready to fire it up.
10-10 take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brightened up by First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
All right, you were mentioning Cole Van Lanen and how well he played. And the offensive line had an outstanding performance, got back to their early season ways of being able to run the ball effectively, impose their will, great protection of Trevor Lawrence. Is there any thought to Cole Van Lanen continuing to play even when Anton Harrison is fully healthy, or is that a no-brainer that Anton, that's his spot, and Cole Van Lanen goes back to being the primary backup at most of the offensive line positions?
I think that's a great question. And I don't know the answer to that, but here's what I would probably guess what is happening. The health of Anton Harrison is obviously a factor.
Sure.
In all of this. And is he available? Is he ready to come back? And I'm not talking about just able to come back and maybe be at 70% or 75% good enough to play or whatever, but being back. Where is he at? But I think that there's no doubt that Cole Van Lanen has shown that he deserves time somewhere. Where that somewhere is I think TBD. You know, where is Anton at from a health standpoint?
Gives you the luxury of slow playing, bringing him back, though, until he's 100% or close to it.
It does, and I think it also, this past performance kind of maybe even provide motivation for him to come back. You know, because if I'm a guy, and I'm just saying this is just my standpoint, my viewpoint, is that if my guy, my spot, I vacated it for a week and somebody came in and played like that, I'd be going, I need to get back in there and play.
Yeah.
And play well. You know, so it would be a motivating factor there. But I think, you know, we mentioned this last week that if there was somebody that was going to be replaced after the Houston game, it was probably going to be Walker Little. And I don't have any inside info on that, but it's just common sense. He didn't play very well in the Houston game.
How did he play this week?
Played better. But, you know, if you're going to compare, just comparison, if you're comparing Walker Little and Cole Van Lanen grades, I think they both had passing grades, but Cole Van Lanen was much better, you know, in that passing grade category. So I think it's an interesting question, and it's a great question, and it's something to keep an eye on, but it's not necessarily imminent just because I think health is always a factor in that. And then, the far-reaching possibility, and I think this is far-reaching, is that leaving Cole Van Linen at right and then moving Anton to left. Do I think that's a possibility? Yes, I think that's a possibility. Do I think that that's likely in mid-season? Probably not, but I think that when you're trying to be the best that you can be, you're willing to try different things to be the best when it's the most important, which is going into the playoffs.
All right. So to be determined, but not off the table. Let's put it that way for Cole Van Linen.
Not by any means. He played well. He did a really good job in just a couple things. The first touchdown run, he got a great block on Khalil Mack. I mean, just great block. And give him some credit on that because he kind of collapsed the whole side. And then constant throughout the game was he had strong arms, which a lot of people say, well, what is strong arms? In pass protection, you always get pass rushers trying to knock the hands down, much like we talked about B.J. Green trying to lift the arms of the tackle, which he did for that one sack he was penalized on. With a lot of pass rushers, they try the chop swim or the what I call the Karate Kid move, the wax on, wax off. Cole's got great arm strength, and that when those guys hit his arms, they're like rods of steel. They don't move. And it's a credit to him because, going back a couple years ago, I remember when they made the trade and they put him at guard because they didn't feel like he was a tackle. He was getting wore out. I mean, he was getting tossed around. I mean, strength was never really something that you looked at him and go, wow, he's a strong player. He's really morphed into a player that is I think got to be considered as being in the starting lineup, and we're talking about it, right? So, I mean, give him some credit for advancing his game, advancing the strength level that he has and the way that he plays, but then also the versatility. I mean, the guy played guard, no problem. Okay, next week, right tackle, no problem. I mean, he's like the one of the most versatile offensive linemen the Jaguars have had in a long time.
Yeah, and I liked how Liam Cohen said after the game in the postgame that every time he came off the field, he was pissed off about something. Whether he's manufacturing it in his head, right, or just, putting himself in that mental mind frame to go out there and play, not sloppily, but angrily, on that edge, that borderline a little bit. So
yeah, the offensive line, I mean, as a whole, and I was telling Sean Surratt after the game, I said, man, your guys did a tremendous job. And it was across the board. I mean, the 13-yard touchdown run by Etienne.
Yeah, Hainsey and McCary both
two great
there.
blocks, and then Hainsey's got the pancake there at the end. I mean, look, Ezra Cleveland got a pancake on a linebacker. I mean, it's kind of what I'm highlighting this week in the film room because those guys did a great job. And, and not to stop with the offensive line. How about Quentin Morris?
Man, he absolutely destroyed.
Smoked Bud Dupree.
Yes. Just planted him on that run that was one of the Wildcat runs by Etienne. He didn't score on it, but it wasn't for Quentin Morris's lack of effort. He came off that ball in a dead sprint from the right side to the left side and absolutely planted Bud
He had a real
Dupree.
strong game, and it wasn't just him. Also his cohort, 86. Give me a help on the name there, the other tight end.
Johnny Munt.
Johnny Munt also did a really good job. So, I mean, some love to the tight end group as well. And blocking is also, it involves the running backs. It was probably the best pass protection game the running backs have had for the Jaguars in ages. I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about in ages. Across the board, 36, 33, and 1, all of them. All of them played a factor in pass protection, and they were kicking their ass. I'm talking giving it to them and then talking about it with them afterwards. And I thought that it took the heart away from the Charger defenders in a lot of instances. And one of the things that I love about LaQuinn Allen is that it seems like every week he puts his sights on one of the top guys. And I'm talking, you go back to the Raiders game, Max Crosby, and he was mic'd up in that game, and he's kind of getting after Max Crosby. But Derwin James was kind of his target this week, and he knows that certain guys are kind of those alpha dogs for the opponent. and he goes after them. And going after those alpha dogs in a contest like that, I think sends a message. We're here, and we're here to play, and we're not backing down, and we're gonna kick your rear end.
No, go get the mayor this week. He is still playing at a high level. Calais, the mayor of Saxonville.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you'd have a hard time getting after like that. But I love LaQuinn Allen Jr. and I was really happy to see how they finished the game with him on the field. How
8
cool
straight
is that?
runs.
How
I think
cool
it was.
is that?
Yeah, it was very good.
Fourth down conversions and eat the clock up. I mean, it was just tremendous. And, look, the Chargers came into that game as the number one team in the National Football League in time of possession. What the final numbers end up on this game? I mean, it had to be like almost nearly 40 minutes to 20.
I think it was.
Somewhere close to that, 38, 39 minutes, something like that the Jaguars.
37:55.
37, so 38.
Yeah,
38 minutes. Tremendous job.
All right, to the phones we go for the first time on a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman. You have Jaguars questions. Jeff will have answers. And let's move on to Eric on the west side leading things off this morning. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good. What's up?
I'm doing pretty good. It was a great win on Sunday. Great game on all three sides of the ball. My question is for Jeff. The coach's aggressiveness. Earlier in the game, it was 4th down and 3. After the defense got a 3 and out, coach decided to go for it instead of taking the 3. And then a little bit before half, he didn't use any timeouts to at least get another 3. So my question is, going forward for the rest of the season, how concerned are you about the coach's? How concerned are you about the coach's aggressiveness?
I like it. He's not Dan Campbell, which I think is like insane at times for the amount of times that he goes for it on 4th down. But I think the way Liam has called the game with his game management team, I think is spot on. I think he's doing a really good job, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, by the way, that would have been a 59-yard field goal. We know that certainly Cam Little is very capable of making those, but that's not a guarantee.
Windy conditions, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty windy on Sunday.
Yeah, that was not a lay-down field goal at that point in time. It's not like they passed up a 35-yard attempt. But, I mean, that's just the NFL nowadays, man. You throw out the old-school thinking. Teams are going for it at different areas of the field.
Who was the first high school coach that literally applied analytics to the game?
There was a guy,
all the time?
right? There was a guy, and he went for it and he said, other than 4th and
forever,
more than 15 yards.
And then backed way up.
And back, right. Other than that, you should go for it on
time.
every single 4th down. And the number, if in a given game, the numbers will bear it out. If you play it out 1,000 reps, you're going to come out ahead. But you don't get 1,000 of those in a game. So in one game, it could go against you 3 times and you lose, and everyone says, well, you're an idiot. Of course you don't do that. But, yeah, you got to have the courage of your convictions to do it.
I'm a big fan of being aggressive, but I also like my points. So I'm a little bit more conservative on the aggressive side of things. So that's kind of where Liam is at.
Did you see how the Washington-Miami game played out?
No.
At the end, Washington's got the ball. It's a tie game. Okay, Washington's got the ball I don't know, 4 minutes left maybe. They've got the ball on the 3-yard line of Miami. It's a chip shot 3. It's a tie game.
Tie game.
They passed up the opportunity. They go for it. They get Miami gets the ball. Miami drives down.
So they didn't make it.
They didn't make it. Miami drives down. They get in the same position with under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And they go for it instead of kicking.
Both teams.
Both teams did it. Miami ultimately won. Somebody had to win, but it was it was pushed to the extreme. All right, what do we got? Is that JR on the north side, I believe? JR, you're next up on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi. My question is about the clock management right before the half in both the last 2 games. Against Houston, I believe he had about a minute and a half and made no attempt, it seemed, to get in the field goal range. And then in Sunday's game, he didn't use his 3 timeouts to try to get the ball back to do the same thing. So
you got to remember, too, I think in that situation there, JR, that when they got the ball there at the end of the first half, they were backed up at the
1 yard line.
So, I mean, there's not the place to be kind of crazy. And I said in the broadcast that, you have a test play, which, maybe you hand it off if you get a significant gain. Then all of a sudden, okay, then maybe you speed it up a little bit and think about using timeouts and going. But they did back-to-back quarterback sneaks because they just felt like it wasn't worth the risk. And I get it. I mean, I think that's a totally fine approach there. The one thing that I will say, JR, is that I think they do a really good job with clock management. They've got a couple guys that aid the head coach in that aspect, John Dykema, who's the senior director of football strategy and game management. That's his title. I mean, that's the world he lives in, and he does a great job advising, along with Shane Waldron, who is the passing game coordinator of the offense. They kind of, I think, Liam and John mostly are the ones who make those decisions on game day, but they've done a very good job, in my opinion.
But putting aside the Jags got the ball at the one.
Interception
the
last week
Stingley interception was they were trying to throw to
Mm-hmm.
get in better position of points on the board, and they picked them off right before the half, so they're definitely trying to do that. But in this case, Jeff, I think people are pointing to not using your timeouts when the Chargers had the ball, right? I'm looking at it right here. You had a 1st and 20, and Herbert throws for 7 yards on 1st and 20. Jags don't call timeout, so it goes from 1:56 on the clock down to 1:17 on the clock. Then Herbert throws to Keenan Allen. Jags still don't call timeout.
And what down was that?
That was 2nd down, right? And then 3rd down, he throws incomplete, but by now there's 38 seconds left. You get the would-be sack on 4th down. Offsetting penalties, they decide to punt. So by the time the Jags got it, the time was gone. The time to use the timeouts would have been when the Chargers had the ball.
Yeah, there's always, you always have to think about it also from two perspectives. Isn't that one, you like to save yourself some time, but the same token, you don't want to save time for your opponent.
Right.
So it's a balance.
Yeah, if the Chargers had picked up a 1st down there, then you would say, we just present. Now they've got
wasted
a
our
full
time
minute
out.
left.
And the ball's getting close to midfield, too. So it's not like it's a situation where the Chargers aren't willing to go hard. And that it's like if they want to use up the clock and not use their timeouts, I think game situation tells you at that point you let them.
Well, and then I think also because you have the ball coming out in that situation at the second half, I think that also it factors in a little bit. It doesn't override any kind of the thinking, but I think it factors in.
Yeah, and plus if they had gotten the sack called properly and not been an unnecessary roughness or roughing the passer, then you take over at midfield, or I think 1 yard on the Jaguar side of the field.
Right.
You would have been just past midfield.
In field goal,
already
try
in field goal
range.
range. And with that,
I say try range.
Well, you would have like 30-something seconds to pick up 15 more yards and made it, by Cam Little standards,
the only
a
thing that
chip
could have
shot.
made it more of a party Sunday is if Cam had another 65 yards.
All right. Thank you for the call, though, JR. We appreciate that. And for the rest of you on the line, we'll get to you coming up here in a moment at 641-1010. Checkmate Coatings phone lines open to you on a Check the Tape Tuesday on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
Frank Frangie here. The holidays are kicking off early at Nimnick Chevrolet. Right now, save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0% on models, including Silverado, Equinox, and Trailblazer during the Red Tag Sales event. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck or SUV at Nimnick. So head to Nimnick today. Who's got more vehicles at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Here's hoping for a raise the roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday, sparked by Shillington Creek Pest Control.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. It's not just annoying when your toilet keeps running long after you flush, it's also costly because it could waste hundreds of gallons of water a day. A running toilet's often caused by worn-out flappers, corroded valves, or a faulty float. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will fix the problem fast, which can help lower your water bill. Stop the running and start saving today. Make the superior choice when your toilet won't stop running and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The good guys continue to make big plays over the weekend in Duval, and one of which would help put the game away. In the fourth quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find Tim Patrick for a 1-yard touchdown, making the score 28-6 with 11:38 left in regulation. The Tim Patrick score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TerMinix.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 48th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget. And with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach open 7 days a week in December.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149 and a 4th room free with a canned food donation. Plus $75 off air ducts as well. Book online anytime at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, we continue along. It's always happier in Jacksonville when the Jaguars went particularly in dominant fashion. Checking the tape with Jeff Lageman, and not too many blemishes on there, but if you've got specific questions, Jeff certainly has answers and opinions. And let's get back out to it, guys, at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Justin on the north side is going to join us next. Justin, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Quick question. So I noticed that Trevor was wearing the call plays on his sleeve.
Yeah, wristband.
Is there any concern of possible him not be able to hear the calls in the helmet and be able to relay that to the team? I also noticed that there was also some potential delay of games and some timeouts due to them. It almost seemed like they couldn't get the play call in quick enough.
No, I don't remember what you're talking about there with that. But I will say that the wristband was definitely a change. And in the past, he's had it. This year, they kind of forced him in the offseason to not have it, and they felt like he could go without it. And then head coach Liam Cohen talked about it a little bit after the game, and then he said that there were some things that they wanted to do tempo-wise as an offense that they felt that it would help Trevor by having the wristband, with calls on it, et cetera. Look, I don't care whether he wears a wristband or not. I made the statement in the broadcast that, look, I'd wear a tutu with bells if it would make me a better football player. I don't care. So for Trevor, if he's going to wear a wristband and it makes him better and it makes him able to manage the offense better, then great. Let's do it.
Yeah, if anything, it should speed things up. Like you have you go like 8A and it's written instead of having to go through all the verbiage, and he looks and he's like, all right, boom, there it is.
You just don't want to have your quarterback using it as a crutch.
Sure.
And I think that they're past the point where it's a crutch, and I think now it's just an aid. So I think it can be a good thing, especially when you're trying to go tempo, like you're saying, and that if the coach can literally say 8,
yeah,
and he doesn't have to go through the entire verbiage into Trevor's ear, that itself right there speeds up the process. So
well, I thought the whole thing ran very smoothly this week.
I thought it was great.
I thought, just everything in terms of, like, there wasn't that panicked last few seconds.
And Mike, I think you're dead on, and that there was no timeout that I remember in that game to where it was a management issue. Now, there might have been a misalignment, but there was never a communication issue that a timeout was used for.
What kind of grade would you give Trevor Lawrence at this point in the season, being in a new offense, talking about all the kind of mechanical things that we're talking about here? As far as his ability at the line of scrimmage, we've heard he gets 2 play calls and he's picking which one they want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
How effective do you think he's been doing that this season for the team?
I mean, for the game management part, and what you're talking about is, they call a couple plays in the huddle, and then if they stick with it, then they just go ahead and start on the cadence. If they don't like the look and they want to change the second play, then you'll hear Trevor go can, or you see him kind of go to his ears like earmuffs, and that's typically the can motion. And then sometimes through the TV broadcast, because when I watch the film occasionally, we actually had the plays from TV on that as well, so I can kind of listen into the audio. Trevor will come to the line, will come to say, we're good, ready, set, boom. And then ball snapped, and he does that. We're good, real slow, and in a kind of calm voice, not to get kind of people thinking that the snap count is coming imminent.
Right.
They just tell them, hey, we're good means the first play that we called in the huddle is great. We're going to run it. Okay, we're not canning it, so get your butt ready. Kind of a thing. So I think he's managed all of that very well. I mean, from that standpoint, Tony. I mean, and the hard work he's put in. No wristband out of the gate. I mean, I'd give him an A, but, you're not, as a quarterback, you're not graded just on that part of it. You're graded on the execution as well, and the other part of that stuff needs to be better.
All right, moving on. Let's go to Steve in Melbourne next here on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry I couldn't call on yesterday, Mike. I normally do when DJ's there, but I had foot surgery yesterday, and the drugs haven't really worn off yesterday.
Careful what you say now.
Well, painkillers, I should say. I mean, the nerve blocker wore off, too, so I could feel that. But anyway, my question for Logs is, I think they should make Ogba inactive for the rest of the season because your guy, B.J. Green, my guy, Strigow, did more in 1 game than he has in 9 games. And I wanted to get your thoughts.
Well, I didn't know BJ was my guy and Strigo was your guy, but I like it that there are guys anyway because I like both of them. And I said that at the very beginning in preseason. I made the comment coming out of preseason that I think that they may know something about Ogba that I didn't, and he's a good dude. He's had a great career. When he plays, he looks like he's aged. These younger players, I think, have more energy. They have more power. They have more speed. Obviously, can contribute more on special teams. But the reality is that every set or every week has a different set of circumstances, and you may end up having to have Ogba active at some point later in the season. But then, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point you just say, hey, look, let's cut bait and move on and maybe find a younger person to maybe fill that roster spot with that some other team is trying to poach off of our practice squad. Could that be a Matt Dickerson, a defensive tackle that they elevated this past game? I don't know. I mean, it's just – yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, is he a guy that you could cut bait with? I mean, you could, but here's the one thing about that. He's guaranteed the rest of his salary.
Right.
You still got to pay him.
Right. So, unless there's a compelling reason to move him, like you need that space for somebody else.
Yeah, he's and for some people that don't know this, for example, let's say you had like Danny Strigo and Ogba. Let's say they're both playing really well right now, and you had to cut one of them. If you cut Strigo, you're not obligated to pay the rest of his salary. because he's not a vested veteran.
Yeah, it's called termination pay.
Correct.
You can do it one time in your career, and most veterans like Agba have not been cut in the midst of a season. So if he gets cut, he'll say, I'll claim my termination pay, which just means he gets paid for the rest of the year.
Right.
And you're on the hook for
Exactly.
it. So, yep, 100% Logs. You're right. Brandon in Jacksonville Beach, next up here on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up?
Hey, Jeff. One thing I thought that was really interesting was there was a play by LaQuinn Allen. I'm really impressed with his blocking. He's probably the best blocking running back we've had since Mojo. And it was a 3rd and 12 that he picked up a blitzing, I don't know if it was a linebacker or a corner. And then Trevor saw that and saw the empty space, and that was that 3rd and 12 to Jacoby. It was a great play. If we keep doing that most of the times, I think that's going to do really well going forward.
I think that was the Derwin James block where Derwin was coming on a blitz, and I might be wrong on that, but I remember because on the film, the film will cut to the ball, so it starts with the all 22 shot, but then once the ball's thrown down the field, it pans towards the action. So you kind of miss the finish of the block. And there is a shot that they have, which is called the end zone all 22, which I don't even know if that's available to fans. That's part of that package, but it's one that the Jaguars shoot. So in the all 22 end zone, you can actually see everything still from the all end zone. And that's when LaQuinn Allen Jr. was giving Derwin James the business. And I'm not sure if it was on the 3rd and 12, but I think it was.
All right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. What do we got? Mimi, is that on the south side next up? Mimi, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, please.
Morning, gentlemen. I wanted to say 3 things. First of all, I wanted to give kudos to Mr. Tony Smith for the great job he's doing calling the Friday Night Lights.
Oh, thank you very much.
And also taking over when Mike decides to play hooky. I mean, when he's on assignment. Excuse me. And anyway, and number 2, I was disappointed on Sunday when Liam decided to, after the coin toss, to defer, because we never know how the Jags are going to play, of course, on any given day. But to give them a leg up opportunity to, get a leg up on the opponent, to me, I thought is important. I'm an old advocate of that. I don't want to age myself, but back in the day, that's what they usually automatically did, was to take the ball. And the last thing I wanted to ask was, would you guys consider doing some kind of celebration activity maybe during reunion weekend with Tony Brackens and JHA to celebrate their SAC accomplishments?
Yeah, I mean, to answer that question, I hopefully Tony makes it in for alumni weekend. But I know that Tony would be thrilled to be able to shake Josh's hand. Tony's great guy, one of my all-time favorites. To answer your first question about deferring after winning the coin toss, I thought that was kind of a challenge to his defense. And, one game, removed from the collapse at Houston, the coach says, boys, it's your turn. Get out there.
Right.
I like it.
By saying you're giving an advantage to the other team, you're just presuming that their offense is going to chew you up. It's only an advantage if they move the ball on you. And once you get that 3 and out, it's a major advantage to have deferred. Because now you got the ball. Now you're getting the ball first in the second half. I mean, that is absolute. I mean, I think it's, there are times when a team has a really great offense and they want to put that offense on the field.
Right.
I don't think the Jags are in that category. Right. I don't think they're great on defense either, by the way. But most teams, if there's no clear advantage with their offense, they're going to defer almost every time.
Yeah, but I think this was a challenge to his defense from previous week of essentially allowing 4 consecutive scores at the end of that game, and challenged them all week, and then in the game itself to put them out there and say, boys, do it, okay? And they responded, and give the defense a lot of credit. Obviously, the yardage allowed was incredibly low, a low for the Chargers for the entire year. But what made the difference was the success and the productivity on first and second down in this ball game that allowed them to have some longer down and distances on third down, which allowed them to get the pressure. Because they started out, you had the grounding, I think, in the first drive. I think the second drive, you had a TFL and a sack. I mean, so they started in exceptional fashion and gave themselves great opportunities on third down because of how good they were on first and second down. And that was pretty much for the entirety of the game. And also, they also got a little help, too, from the kickoff coverage team because they also were really sharp early in the ball game, putting the Chargers back inside the 25-yard line. I think the first three kickoff coverages. But great job there.
By the way, one thing we all agree on, Tony Smith does a great job on all his broadcast assignments. So there you have it. Thank you, Mimi, for the call. And for the rest of you on the line, as we get ready to go into hour number 2, hang in there at 641-1010, and we'll get to you on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines on a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. The Jaguars prowl in the Valley of the Sun. One team flies, the other bites. Stuck up on cactus juice, it's a duel in the desert. Jaguars Cardinals. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
It's Jaguars Today Tuesday. Protected by Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
So welcome.
Experience Pink Floyd.
To the machine.
Floyd Nation. November 21st at Florida Theater. Floyd Nation.
Don't be afraid to get. I don't need no arms around me.
Floyd Nation. Experience Pink Floyd. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit morganconleyroofing.org.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La playa awaits.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Josh Hines-Allen was beasting and feasting against Los Angeles over the weekend. The Jacksonville defensive end tallied 4 tackles versus the Chargers and would grab a sack on what was an enormous bounce-back performance. Number 41 was in a league of his own, and he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Celebrating 30 years in Jack's Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman is brought to you by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, we'll go around the league this hour with Tony Smith as we continue to look back on the Jaguars' 35-6 demolishing of the LA Chargers, most complete game they played this season. Checking the tape with Jeff Lageman as we do every Tuesday for better or worse, and a lot of better this week, fortunately, for the Jaguars now at 6-4. We go to the lines once again. Darren is up next on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Darren, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Very well. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to come on and give a big shout out to Josh Hines Allen, man, for breaking the franchise sack record. And I don't know if you guys covered it or not. I just wanted to kind of get your take on it. With as difficult as the calls they are now, do you feel like it's more difficult to get sacks and to break that record than it was back in the day? Not to discredit how hard the fellas worked back then, but just get your thoughts on that, and I'll take my comments off the air.
All right, thank you, Darren.
Is it harder to get sacks in today's era? No, because it's a passing league. So I think it's easier to get sacks in today's game because there's more passing overall. Look, it was hard to do it in every era, and then Josh is doing a tremendous job, and he's had a somewhat of an off year from a numbers standpoint so far. But, my expectation for Josh, which a lot of people think that he should have 17 sacks a year, but I don't think that. I mean, I always look at the outlier years that he's had, and he had 17.5, which was a franchise record a couple years ago. And then I think he had 1 year. What's his lowest year output-wise? It was like 5 or 6. 4, something like that. So, I mean, if you take those out, okay, let's go to stats. Mike, you can probably pull it up year to year. Take the high one out, take the low one out, and then tell me where Josh is at.
Typically probably an 8-sack guy.
He's about an 8-sack guy. Yeah. That's what he is. He's an 7 to 9 sack a year guy.
His low was 2.5, but that was the year where he only played 8 games. That was his second year in the league. He had 2.5.
What's the next lowest where he played most of the season?
7.
Yeah. So he's somewhere right in that 7 to 9 sacks a year, and that's what I consider Josh, a 7 to 9 sack. Now, look, I'd love for him to be at 17.5 in every year, but I don't know if that's necessarily him because that was I don't want to say it's an outlier. That means it's never going to happen again, but I just don't think that that's going to happen every year.
All right, quick break here. We'll come back. Tony will take us around the NFL. If you want to get in, 641-1010 is the easiest way to do it. It's a Check the Tape Tuesday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors Studios. A great season often depends on keeping your best players on the field.
Let me know if he's ever going to play football again, or do I need to find me another wide receiver?
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville.
Come on, you can't play without me.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 18, 1979, Richard Petty became the first to win the NASCAR Series Cup 7 times.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Hey, gang, Prosser here. When it comes to selling your home, you think you got problems? Well, I got promises. Chad and Sandy do. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months and a low price to sell. Not anymore. You go with Chad and Sandy Newman, the experts that I recommend. Proven systems. They drive demand for selling your home, and they have this guarantee. Bottom line, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. That's why they're the local real estate experts that I'm trusting and recommending. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy will have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. Keith in Atlantic Beach said, I wanted to move my parents closer. They needed a lot of help getting their home ready for sale and finding a new one. Medical issues made things even more challenging. I called Chad and Sandy because I heard their stories on the radio. The Chad and Sandy team were compassionate, professional, got the job done. My folks' home sold the very first weekend for $1.2 million in cash. Call the local experts I'm recommending. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I called you about the ductwork in my attic this summer, and you totally blew me off.
I did.
My airflow is too low and my bills are too high.
I know.
There's stains on my ceiling tiles and sweating around the vents, and the mice have chewed so many holes in the ducts, I think they're getting more AC than I am.
I know.
Then how could you let me suffer all summer, Jason?
Because summer is the one time of year I just can't send my technician into someone's steaming hot attic. They'd kill me. Ductwork is hot, cramped work at the best of times. Lucky for you, those best of times are in November.
You mean like now?
Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair your old, damaged, or just plain sketchy ductwork right now when it's not too hot and not too cold.
And none of your technicians will kill you.
It's a win-win.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Sunrise Heating and AC of North Florida. Jacksonville Jaguars running back Basil Tootin has been nominated for the NFL's Rookie of the Week award for his performance against the LA Chargers in Week 11. Tootin is among 6 rookies nominated this week, which include New England Patriots running back Travion Henderson, Carolina Panthers receiver Ted McMillan, and Denver Broncos receiver Pat Bryant. Right now, 73 degrees at 11:03, time and 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, well, you just heard R.J. Saunders tell you Basil Tutin nominated for Offensive Rookie of the Week. Congratulations on that. Travion Henderson will win it, you would suspect, after scoring 3 touchdowns in a primetime game as the Patriots improved to 9-2. But, Logs, let's talk about what you saw from Basil Tutin here. I know Etienne got the start, but I thought Basil Tutin was the guy who popped off the screen, and who knows, at the end, you're like, well, the carries were fairly even, but Tutin basically didn't play down the stretch, and Etienne gets that touchdown. Maybe that goes to Tutin. I mean, is this, you looking at this as an even backfield right now, or is this still Travis Etienne as the guy? I just thought Tutin had so much juice this week.
I think it's a hot hand situation, where you got 2 really good backs, and then whoever is the hot hand, you kind of roll with it. But there was definitely a noticeable upswing on the carries in the first half towards Basil Tutin. Mm-hmm. And so obviously I think that was intentional because they believe he's got some great talent, just like I talked about during camp. He's got great speed. He's got great contact balance. That's the thing I think that separates him from a lot of other guys, is that the ability to maintain balance, power, speed with contact, which is very rare. And I give him a lot of credit, because what was the moniker there, the one negative that he had coming out?
Fumbling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And hasn't
Ball
had
security.
Knocking on wood right now, right. Hasn't had that issue. He's been pretty good.
He dropped the ball on his first touch in rookie minicamp. Right? I mean, literally, first touch, it was like, oh no. Mm-hmm. And then since then, I don't even know if I remember seeing him play one on the ground in training camp or any of the offseason stuff.
No, he's got power, and he almost had 2 that he just gone.
Yeah. Yep.
Almost.
Well, shoelace tackle.
Yeah, I think that, talking about the hot hand thing, I think was the expectation certainly I had, but I think you expressed it too going into the season that you thought that's the way, that the backfield would work. And is there something to take from Tutin hasn't been featured as much as he was this week before this week? Is that the Etienne's been playing well enough that it's kind of kept it at bay to this point, how much they're going to feature Tutin?
I think it's a little bit of that, but then I also think it's when I said it was intentional, putting a lot of mileage on Etienne, so I mean, why not start to get the opportunity to keep guys fresh, and so both guys can be good for this football team at the most important part of the year, which is towards the end of the year on the playoff push. And I think it's smart, and I think both backs are really capable, and I think both backs are really special when it comes to their ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, also their ability for pass protection, as I mentioned earlier, how all 3 backs were so good with that. I think they got a really, really good group.
All right, let's continue on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Mac on the north side is next with us. Mac, good morning.
Okay, fellas, I don't have a problem with Calais Campbell leaving Jacksonville, going to Baltimore to chase that Super Bowl ring. But when his time was ended at Baltimore, I had wanted him to come to Jacksonville and not to the Falcons. I'm still kind of sore at that. So I'm going to take it off and see what you guys think of that.
I'm with you. I wanted to see Calais come back. But, I get it. There's something to kind of going back to where it all began to finish it up. And Calais has earned the right to do whatever the heck he wants to do. He's had a Hall of Fame career. On top of that, he's a Hall of Fame person. And I wish him nothing but the best and nothing but what he wants, because he's that kind of a guy.
Yeah, I think even going back to last year, would have liked to see, right? I mean, there were multiple occasions
I didn't want to let him go.
Right, there that he would have been a great re-addition, but that ship is obviously sailed.
Once it got done with Baltimore, he chose Atlanta for a year, then he chose Miami for a year, and this year it's Arizona. Like, I got no issue with if he is going to wrap it up, which you would think at some point he's going to have to. He doesn't look like a 40-year-old playing football, but he's creeping up on it right now when you watch him. But I don't blame him. I'm with you. I don't blame him for going back home to say goodbye.
It's almost kind of like I put him and Jackie Slater are two of the longest, Matthews as well. Bruce and Clay, both of them had exceptionally long careers. I mean, it's for guys to have the career length like what Calais is doing and like what those other guys are doing, it's just so incredibly rare. And you got to have a lot of great fortune, but also you got to be genetically just different to be able to play this game of NFL football for 20 years, because it is not for the weak.
No, and he's definitely not that. So we'll see him this week, and hopefully we'll send him off with an L for the last matchup, likely versus the Jaguars. This one from Miguel Logs on the X platform here. Jeff, please comment on how you feel James Gladstone has raised the floor of the roster. I think it was very evident this week. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, not just this week. I mean, I think it's a long running process and a never ending process. And the one thing that I have learned getting to know James a little bit is that he never rests, and the amount of work that he puts in is constant. I mean, the meetings that they have, how much advanced scouting they're doing on prospects at the college level right now, it's incredibly thorough. And James is very active and proactive. You go into the conversations that we had with him, specifically on Jaguars HQ, the show on Thursday night. He's talked about how when the trades were kind of done, how he was proactive, that he was the one that was calling people and then just touching base with different people saying, hey, where are you at? And I think if you've got a general manager that has good relationships across the league, then I think the opportunities to improve are there. But if you're considered a jerk, then I think a lot of opportunities may pass you by. And so I appreciate that about James. The Jacoby Myers trade, I thought, is now looking brilliant. The catches that he made his past game, and I made the comment in our broadcast that Jacoby Myers is one of those wide receivers where he goes across the middle, it looks like his arms actually get longer. I mean, how many guys can you say that about?
Right.
I mean, it's just, he's a guy that catches everything, goes across the middle, he's got sure hands and long arms, and you like that. And I think it's exactly what this football team needed at the particular time where this organization or that room was at.
All right, let's take a break here. More with Jeff Lageman coming up. Tony will take us around the league next. If you'd like to get in, we'll certainly welcome your calls at 641-1010. And we've got plenty more on the X platform and the text line that we'll pass along to Jeff on a Check the Tape Tuesday here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number one Duval Ford. Did you know that right now Duval Ford's offering a mobile service that comes to you at home or at work? You can get oil changes, filters, battery replacement, recalls, and a lot more with no extra fees, same dealership quality, delivered with easy online scheduling and live technician tracking. It's also available for fleets and commercial availability as well. On-site service at your convenience, contactless payments, paperless invoicing, serving Jacksonville and the surrounding areas. Schedule your next service at DuvalFord.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Putting the fence in defense.
The ball comes out! The ball has come out!
Each week, Superior Fence and Rail presents the Defensive Player of the Game on 1010XL.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Jaguars Today Tuesday is serviced by Julington Creek Pest Control.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Number 91 joins number 55. Eric Armstead brings his big resume to helmets and Heels Fridays at 3. Tuned up by orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville. Move better, live stronger. Jacksonville's trusted orthopedic experts.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World.
Simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
It's time for Black Friday, Dell Technologies' biggest sale of the year. Enjoy huge savings on select PCs like the Dell 16 Plus, featuring Intel Core Ultra processors. And with built-in advanced features, it's the PC that helps you do more, faster. Plus, earn Dell rewards and enjoy many other benefits, like free shipping, price match guarantee, and expert support. They also have huge deals on accessories that pair perfectly with your Dell PC and make perfect gifts for everyone on your list. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, checking the tape with Jeff Lageman on this Tuesday, going up until noon today. XL Primetime will take over. And right now, Tony, there are other teams, I guess, in the National Football League, and you're going to tell us all about them.
Now, gems around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
I'll tell you a little bit about a few of them. Houston quarterback C.J. Stroud remains in the league's concussion protocol. The Texans play on Thursday night this week against Buffalo. The New York Jets are benching Justin Fields. They'll start Tyrod Taylor against Baltimore this week. The Jets are expected to be signing defensive tackle Colin Sanders, who the Jaguars released. Atlanta is placing quarterback Michael Penix Jr. on injured reserve due to him having re-aggravated a bone bruise and knee sprain. He also sustained some kind of ACL damage. On Sunday, the Falcons have already ruled out wide receiver Drake London for this week. Green Bay will not be placing running back Josh Jacobs on IR after an MRI revealed that surgery will not be necessary to deal with the knee injury that he suffered. He's being called day-to-day for now for the Packers. Carolina head coach Dave Canales said yesterday that they will have an update on the ankle injury of quarterback Bryce Young Thursday. Philadelphia offensive tackle Lane Johnson suffered a Liz Frank injury. He's expected to miss at least the next 4 to 6 weeks. And Cincinnati wide receiver Jamar Chase has been suspended for 1 game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey, which led to Ramsey getting tossed from the game after he punched Chase in response to being spit upon.
But he said he didn't spit, Tony.
I know.
He's appealing that, I believe.
Yeah. He also wouldn't talk to the media in the locker room yesterday. Like, after it all came down. Like,
Yeah.
Because he got caught
talking to
lying.
anybody. Yeah.
He just blatantly lied after the game. I didn't spit.
I guess that was a game where there was constant interactions and it just kept escalating.
I'm sure. I wonder if Chase was talking about how he cooked him in the Super Bowl and Jalen's like flashing the invisible ring at him. Like, who cares? We won.
Right.
You know, like I don't know. But I'm not a Jalen Ramsey supporter, but I had no issue with him retaliating in that moment. the fact that the Steelers felt like they had the game in hand. Look, this is the playoffs. You don't get thrown out of the game, right? But that was pretty ridiculous by
I don't
Jamar
see what
Chase.
the whole thing is about spitting on a guy, man. Keep your spit to yourself.
Well, that's the point. It's disgusting, and it's just so disrespectful.
Something about Jalen and those Bengals wide receivers. One at AJ Green.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Jalen will get under your skin now.
All right, well, let's get a few here from the X platform for you on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Bush Drive Rich wants to know, after running the Wildcat play with Travis Etienne in the red zone, might we see that a little bit spread out in other areas of the field? Could this become a bigger part of the offense?
Maybe short yardage packages. I mean, just because the goal line area kind of is a natural short yardage situation. But
do you like the play?
I mean, if it works, yeah. Yeah, I'm all for it when they work.
And any play that works is a good play, right?
Yeah.
But as a general concept, do you like the idea of just getting the ball in the running back's hands, letting him pick a hole, or do you think it telegraphs too much to the defense what the Jags or the team's intention would be?
I think it can be good as long as it's not overused. You know, a lot of times teams that have deficiencies on offense kind of use it as a changeup. And I don't consider that the Jaguars need to use something like that. I like the fact that they are, just as a little mix-up. Keeps the opponent just a little bit off balance, but I'm not one that would want to see more, no.
Okay, here's from JD. The defense, in his opinion, looked completely dominant with Devin Lloyd and Trayvon Walker back out there at full speed, or at least close to it. Are they kind of the linchpins or the guys that make this defense go?
I thought they did this past Sunday. I thought Devin Lloyd was better. I didn't think he played very well at Houston. I thought that little bit of time off, he was a little rusty, a little off his game in Houston. Trayvon definitely played more physical, more violent, with more kind of a sense of urgency, I would say. So that was nice to see. And the opportunity was there too, because the Chargers had tackle issues with the injuries that they've had at the offensive tackle position. So those things kind of coincided, and that's good to see. But I wouldn't say that they're the heart of the defense, but I think they're obviously a huge part of that major engine of that defense.
All right. I'm just looking at this person has sent basically the same text for several days, maybe not getting the response they want, asking about the prevalence of the pitch plays that they've used, the little toss plays.
Great design. And what the question is referring to, I'm assuming, the touchdown run by Bashal Tutin. So here's the way what I love about that play design, and this is a kudo to the coaching staff. So the Jaguars get on the goal line, and they line up essentially with the extra offensive lineman as the tight end to the left, and then you have a tight end that's a wing outside of that. Then you actually bring a wide receiver in motion across the formation, so you're overloading the left side. And then you have a toss play. Well, most defenders see a toss play, and they think, what, toss sweep, right? I mean, that's typically the only time that you toss it. But it's really not a toss sweep. The toss there is essentially window dressing, and it's to get the defense fast flowing to the overloaded outside. And what happens, Bashal Tutin gets the toss, makes maybe one or two steps in that direction, plants his foot, and then cuts it back to the side that most of the defenders are thinking there's no way that there's anything going to go back on that side. Great design. They came back to it away from the goal line in the middle of the field and used it again with success. So kudos to the coaching staff on the design on that play. Also cool play where you had the fake screen to the left, the fake screen to the right.
Munt was
come
wide
back
open
into the middle to Munt in the middle. And I go back years ago. I actually illustrated this play. I think it was back when Nate Hackett was the offensive coordinator, and I called it the Parting of the Red Seas play. And loved the play design, and it worked. It was a nice play to have.
That and the Tim Patrick touchdown was a really nice play design as well.
Excellent play design on that as well, just because, you got a big man that's got that catch radius. They tried him on another bunch formation to the left where you got the interference call. So Tim Patrick had a nice game.
Yep, absolutely. All right, this one logs. on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Jeff, what did you see on Trevor's interception? Was it a bad decision to check out of the original play, just a poorly placed ball?
Yeah, poorly placed ball.
Yeah.
He throws it inside. It's got to be outside. Poor ball. Nothing more than that. Poor ball. And here's the reality. You got a corner that's got a safety over the top, so that's even more reason that the ball needs to be outside. It was thrown inside. And, much like the interception in the Texans game to Stingley Jr., that ball was thrown behind. This ball here was thrown behind as well.
Let's see this one from Ed Luggs. I know you talked about how well the offensive line played, but can you explain how week to week it sometimes differs so greatly? They've been dominant in some games and they've been wrecked in other ones.
All right, so they got wrecked against Seattle, and they're damn good on defense. Really good on defense. I thought the Rams also have a really good defense and played strong. Houston's got the best defense in the National Football League. So, look, the quality of the opponent might have something to do with that because, they always say that the Jimmies and Joes and not the X's and O's. Well, the reality is that Jimmy and Joe are not always created equal. That's why some guys get paid $30 million a year and some guys are making minimum. They hit a couple teams there that got some really good football players.
Yeah, one guy that the Jags haven't had that they'll get back, who is the top of the depth chart and better than the others at the position, is Brenton Strange. And we'd hoped to have him this week, but didn't. Do you expect him to play this week based on his practice participation last week? And if so, what is the impact he makes now down the stretch for this team?
Well, he had a pretty significant injury, and when you have a guy that gets placed on IR, then I think that kind of speaks to that. And when you open a 21-day window, that's exactly what it is, a 21-day window to evaluate him, see where he's at. And I think the last thing in the world that you want to do is to rush a guy like Brenton Strange back, because here are two things. One, he's a foundational player. He's a culture-building player in your organization. Number two is that Brenton Strange plays the game one way, and that's full speed, 100%, and he's on full tilt all the time. And so when you have a guy like that, you've got to make sure that he is back for those two reasons in particular. Then also when you see it in practice, then I think then you'll know. And then at that point, then you say, hey, look, maybe even let's give him one more week just to make sure. Because you're getting some good performances out of the other guys. So you don't want to bring him back unless he's hitting the ground running full speed.
All right, well, this one as a follow-up to that from the Twitter platform here. When Strange does come back, should Johnny Munt be considered the second tight end in 12 personnel since his blocking last week was exceptional? Obviously, Hunter Long's banged up right now, too, and he's been generally operating, when everyone's healthy, as the number 2 tight end.
Well, I think they're all playing pretty well, and that's going to be a very tough decision for the coaching staff. And where Hunter Long is, obviously, and where Brenton Strange is going to have, obviously, a big impact in that decision-making process. But, credit to Richard Angulo, who used to be a tight end for the Jaguars here years ago, who's the tight ends position coach. He's doing an excellent job with those guys. Quentin Morris, I think, is also having something to say about maybe, hey, look, he needs to be a part of the rotation as well. So that's always a good problem to have if you're a coach and those are the problems that you're dealing with. Those are pretty damn good problems.
Absolutely. All right. Too many good players for not enough spots to get them all happy at the same time. Let's hope they continue to play at that level. You've got wide open phone lines if you want to get in right now on a Check the Tape Tuesday. You can do it with Jeff Lageman with your particular question at 641-1010. Keep them coming on X and on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures as well. I got plenty more in the queue for Jeff coming up as we look back on the Jags' 35-6 win over the LA Chargers. And before the hour's out, we'll look ahead to the matchup with the Arizona Cardinals as well. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey. Look, I've got a challenge for you. It's nice and cool outside these days, so Pella Windows and Doors asked me to pass this along to you. Go stand next to your windows inside. If you feel a cool draft, well, guess what? You probably need Pella. The experts at Pella Windows and Doors can easily fix that draft with energy-efficient windows to keep the drafty air out, saving you money every month. How does 0% interest for 60 months sound? Well, go to PellaJacks.com, schedule a free home energy checkup. That's PellaJacks.com, or visit the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows and tell them you heard my challenge here on 1010 XL.
Speed.
45-50.
Talent.
How high can you leap?
Opportunity.
Just when they needed it most.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game. Experience the universal difference on 1010 XL.
Want a fresh and flavorful tailgate this season? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad perfect for lunch, parties, and your tailgate. Order 3 ways at one of 4 area locations. Call 1-833-MY-CHICK or online at chickcatering.com.
Frank Frangie for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember when the Jaguars upset the Denver Broncos in the 1996 divisional round as a 14-point underdog and launched them into the AFC Championship? Well, you know who won't upset you? The team at Coil Fencing. Coil is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has been serving the Jacksonville community for nearly 100 years. From sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love to tough chain link for your commercial project, Coil does it all. Visit CoilJacks.com. That's COILE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 48th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget. And with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach open 7 days a week in December.
Hey, Hickett here for Zero Res. It's Thanksgiving time, man. But listen, don't deal with the toughest gravy, cranberry sauce, or pumpkin pie disasters. Let the cleaning freaks do it. Get back to clean. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $149. A 4th room free with a canned food donation. Ideally, a full bag of cans, not just 1 or 2. Also, take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call my friend Zero Res right now, 28757, or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010 special. Zero Res, spell it backwards and forwards. It spells the same.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I called you about the ductwork in my attic this summer, and you totally blew me off.
I did.
My airflow is too low and my bills are too high.
I know.
There's stains on my ceiling tiles and sweating around the vents, and the mice have chewed so many holes in the ducts, I think they're getting more AC than I am.
I know.
Then how could you let me suffer all summer, Jason?
Because summer is the one time of year I just can't send my technician into someone's steaming hot attic. They'd kill me. Ductwork is hot, cramped work at the best of times. Lucky for you, those best of times are in November.
You mean like now?
Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair your old, damaged, or just plain sketchy ductwork right now when it's not too hot and not too cold.
And none of your technicians will kill you.
It's a win-win.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, folks. It's Frank Frangie. Did you know that individuals over age 60 have great results on Awaken 180? See how you could drop weight and get off your medications in just 3 months with Awaken 180's Golden Program. Visit awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, continuing along, a Check the Tape Tuesday. Haven't had one this positive in a while for the Jacksonville Jaguars. From start to finish logs, didn't have to punt. Didn't have to settle for a field goal. Now, granted, they went for it on some 4th downs and obviously had a turnover, and that factors into it as well. But
Logan had a good game, though.
Holding?
Yeah, there was a couple snaps that were. He had one snap that I remember that was very high, like almost up at the face level of Logan Cook, and he handled it perfectly. I mean, he continues to impress me as I think the best holder in the National Football League.
I think it's a tough job, man. I mean, it's a split-second thing.
And you got to be, on the money about where you put that ball every time.
Every single time, right? And and there's no excuse. It doesn't matter if it's here, if it's wide, if it's high, whatever. You got to get it somewhere reasonably within that kicking spot. And
I would love to know, and I wonder if there's a way, because the Jaguars have that golf thing, how like that measures ball speed, rotation, and everything like that you see the PGA Tour have. They actually have that in-house that they evaluate, like Cam Little's ball speed, leg speed, and then the spin of the ball, the rotation, and everything. I'd love to see if there's a way that you could take some type of video camera and measure where the ball is put every time by Logan Cook, like on the pinpoint spot.
Right.
Like what's the percentage of accuracy that ball is put on the exact same spot where it needs to be every time, and how many and what percentage points is it maybe off from placement to placement? It'd be cool to know.
Yeah, and who knows, too? Like, we see Logan Cook every week. I would imagine most guys are really good at that, right? I mean, it's a tough job, but, like, field goal kickers are hitting at a higher percentage than ever across the league, so right. I don't get the sense that it's, it's crazy. I feel like now most of the misses are when guys get over amped up and they overhook the ball, but hey, we're happy that there's specialists here in Jacksonville are getting the job done.
Yeah, the Chargers kicker is a really good one too.
Oh, Cameron Dicker's excellent. Yeah,
I think he has the highest accuracy rate of any kicker in NFL history with a minimum of like 100 kicks or
something like that. Yep, I'm with you. Mike on the South Side's got a question or a comment. Mike, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing, Jeff? Mike. Hey, listen, it's a stupid question, but I just got this feeling that for years when coaches go over game film with Trevor, that they're actually not going over play-by-play with him. Jeff, can you please educate me? When a coach goes over game film with a quarterback, are they going over play-by-play? Like, what are you thinking? What do you see? Where should you have gone with the ball?
Mike, every play. I mean, they do that on the sideline. They do that after games and film review. It's a very detailed, situation. And as the one thing I think that Trevor is getting, he's getting very hard coaching and very direct coaching from Liam and also Grant Udinski and others. But it's not like they're sugarcoating anything with them, because that's not the way to get better. I mean, the best way to get better is to be honest and upfront and look and see and find out what he's seeing so that they can help him get better. So, yeah, I think they talk about everything.
We hope to get Brian Thomas Jr. back and healthy, right? If he does come back, what should be reasonable expectations for him for the rest of the year?
To have a supporting role and not to be the lead dog. I think that originally when the season started, our expectations for him was to be that guy that he was last year. But the lack of sure-handedness, the drops, et cetera, I think have impacted that. And you have to end up showing and earning kind of your reps that you get. And there are some others, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, that are showing that their sure-handedness, the catch rate, et cetera, are there. And I think, trust me, Brian is going to, I think, be a big boost to this offense because he gives them an element of the deep ball that those guys can't give them. But it's not going to be, he won't be the focal point. If anybody thinks he's going to be the focal point coming back, I think that they would be mistaken.
Has De'Ami Brown's signing been a whiff?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, yeah, I think you can see that. I mean, now you're seeing Austin Trammell get more reps, and De'Ami Brown's not getting a whole lot of reps.
Austin Trammell, man, he made one catch, but damn, to not go 3 and out on the first drive, to make that little diving
really good
grab,
catch.
It was a very good catch.
It wasn't a great throw. I mean, it was
and it wasn't like they scored on that drive, but you didn't go stop them 3 and out and immediately give the ball back to them. At least you got another set of downs, help with field position a little bit there.
Yeah, that was kind of early in the game, and Trevor's feet were moving a little bit quickly in the early part of that game, and that was one of those throws that Trevor kind of was, getting out quickly and felt like, oh my God, I got to get rid of it, and it was off and heck of a catch.
He had a few, like overhyped moments, I thought, Trevor, in that first half. But
I think sometimes early in games, I think it would be sometimes wise to let him run the ball, kind of to get to get that energy, that nervous early game
burn it off a
energy,
little bit,
out.
right, yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah, everyone's got that playground thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you're playing tackle football with the friends, and it's like,
I was
I'm
the
not
same
playing
way.
until I get hit.
Yeah, it was the same way. You know, I mean, you got that hype, you know, the beginning of the game hype. And I mean, sometimes you want to get rid of that, you know, because you play better when you don't have it. Now, trust me, I mean, the intensity and the focus and all that stuff you like. But, you know, sometimes as a quarterback, you're a decision maker. You know,
Yeah.
You're not a guy who's trying to mash somebody's face in.
I do think it's interesting. We talked about it with Etienne and Tootin, right, where they want to play the hot hand, but it does feel like Tootin's playing well enough that the role is going to expand for him at this point in the offense. We talked about Agba. They're sitting him down for the first time this week, despite him being healthy. They just decided to give the young guys a chance. We'll see if they give us a little bit of juice.
And they did in this past game.
Right, and we're talking about at the wide receiver spot right now, too. What's it going to look like when Brian Thomas Jr. gets back? How many of the opportunities that De'Ami Brown had?
I wouldn't be surprised, Tony, if De'Ami's inactive.
Right, has just evaporated at this point. It's one of those things where you get to this point in the season, and I think the way they had played the last month, even the game they won against the Raiders, the way that they had to win that game, that they're taking a look at all the options they have to give themselves whatever they consider to be their best chance right now. Forget what the plan was going into the year. Right, like right now it is, where are we now? Right, and having to look in the mirror and figure out exactly what that is. And they've made some very crucial decisions that I don't think anyone would have necessarily expected that they would make going into the year.
No, and I think you bring up a great point, and I would put it a little bit differently. Instead of looking in the mirror, I think it's trusting your eyes and evaluating what you are seeing from kind of a distant approach or a distant viewpoint. In other words, for example, if you feel like you got some type of skin in the game or expectations, I think sometimes it can obscure what you're actually seeing and what the level of production actually is. If you're just looking at it from an unemotional standpoint and looking, okay, so this guy is making this percentage of catches and this productivity is here and this guy is not there, so the right decision to make is to give it to the guy more that's got the higher level of productivity. And so I think that's what's happening a little bit. I think, you start every season, you got a new staff, you kind of base a lot of your expectations upon what you've seen in the past, maybe the history with a guy, for example, like Agba, guy that's, spent time with Campanelli in the past, been productive, and now you look at it for, however many games in, they made the decision that, hey, look, the productivity's not there. Let's try somebody else. De'Ami Brown, kind of same thing. Hey, look, got some drops, got some arm shortage issues going across the middle. Maybe we ought to give some opportunities to others, and I think that's one of the reasons why you had the trade that was executed. I mean, so a lot of these things that are happening, just like Cole Van Landen we're talking about, maybe possibly taking a spot in the starting lineup. I mean, you've got to start to trust your eyes and believe what you see to make the best decision for the football team.
All right, one more on the lines, and we'll come back and preview the matchup with the Cardinals. Darren, you're next on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. What a wonderful, wonderful victory this weekend. I got to watch it from a perspective I'd never had before. My wife and I were invited to sit in a suite, and that was just an incredible experience for someone that's never done it before in all my years, and so that was pretty cool. Jeff, being that I was up there, I saw a position that I was just curious about if Trevor has the ability or the authority to override a call. On a couple of times on 3rd and 1, and I think even a 4th and 1, I noticed that there was nobody in the A gap, and I always wondered, does he have, can he just call an audible there and shoot to the A gap to pick up the first down? And both times we struggled. We got the first down, but it was just struggle. I was just wondering, does he have that authority to make those kind of calls? I'll hang up the list, guys.
Yeah, I think on when Trevor goes to the line, I think he does have the authority to do certain things on a 3rd and short. For example, if they got a play call and it's a run call and it's just an inside zone and he gets to the line of scrimmage, for example, and I'm just making up a situation here. Let's say he gets to the line of scrimmage and sees that you've got an unoccupied A gap to his left and it's 3rd and a foot. Why even waste the time of trying to run a zone play? Let him take it.
Right.
And I know in the past that he's been able to do that, and I think he's made that decision at times, maybe a couple times this year. I think the touchdown run that he had, I think it almost looked like it was designed to go out to the left side a little bit, but he sees the opening right up the middle and he takes it, so you've got to trust your quarterback in a lot of those situations because he's the guy on the field that's performing. And so you've got to give him some of that autonomy, but at the same token, sometimes he's got to get plays and he's got to stick with it because it's not always, it's not, the quarterback doesn't always know best. Most of the time you want to trust him, but at the same token, you got to have some plays that don't give him the ability to do something different.
All right, let's come back, Logs, and a quick preview of the Jags matchup with the Arizona Cardinals, and then we'll send you off into this beautiful afternoon. You're listening to a final segment of Check the Tape Tuesday coming up on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Just when you thought we couldn't bring you more, Keon Atlantic is here with a brand new store. We have the same great team to treat you well. With new savings during our grand opening sale. Keon Atlantic is here with the new store. Shop our best offers and largest selection yet. Save big during our grand opening sale. Is there something for everyone on our lot? You bet. If you're ready to experience something new, the all-new Keon Atlantic is ready for you. Your perfect ride is a visit away. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
San Jose Collision is hiring for an automotive detailer and porter. If you're detail-oriented, dependable, and love working with cars, apply in person at San Jose Collision in Mandarin. Valid driver's license required.
Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Protected by Shillington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Hey, 1010XL fans, it's game time, but don't get sidelined from the fun. The JTA Game Day Express is the smartest way to get to the bank on time. It's all sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. There are 5 convenient pickup locations across the River City, but remember, Game Day Express is cashless. All passes must be purchased through the MyJTA mobile app. Get your $10 pass today. For all of your game day needs, go to myjtafla.com.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Experience Pink Floyd. Floyd Nation. November 21st at Florida Theater. Floyd Nation. Floyd Nation. Experience Pink Floyd. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com.
The wait is over. Sunday, December 7th, your Jacksonville Jaguars return to Everbank Stadium for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. This is more than just a game. It's a statement. Touchdown, Jacksonville! The Jags are back home and ready to turn up the heat in their iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff is 1 p.m., so pack the bank and make it loud. Secure your seats now at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farrah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Tomorrow, Tony and I will have Bo Brack on, who covers the Cardinals, usually handles our media mock draft for the Cardinals as well, to break down the opponent for this week. Logs, a thought or two from you. Jacoby Brissett set an NFL record with 47 completions this week on 57 attempts. So while they don't have Kyler Murray, many observers out in Arizona think that Jacoby Brissett has just outplayed him anyway this year. We don't know about Marvin Harrison Jr. He had the appendectomy last week, didn't play. Michael Wilson had a ridiculously
really
productive,
nice game.
huge game. Trey McBride is having arguably the best season of any tight end in the National Football League.
Great player
this year. So, first off, how out of the Jags, what are the challenges that this Arizona Cardinals offense will pose to them?
Well, I mean, just the air it out factor. That's an area that the Jaguars defense has been struggling. Their third down, prior to this past game, I mean, they were like bottom of the league, third worst in the league in third down. The least number of sacks in the league, so passing attack offenses can make them have a difficult time, and that's a team that can definitely spread the field, especially when they have all the weapons. Their running game is also fairly decent, so I think it's a big challenge for the Jaguars. And the 49ers, I thought, did a really good job of winning the physical battle that game early. From watching some of that game film, they were impressive. Obviously, they're back. McCaffrey's an excellent back. He really kind of got off to a fast start. They also got off to a fast start with special teams in that game.
Right, they had the ball. First play came from the 1 yard line. Right. McCaffrey scored a touchdown on literally the first offensive snap.
So, and then look, the numbers that Jacoby Brissett put up there also have a few interceptions in there. So. Yeah. That also helped the 49ers along the way. But if the Jaguars play their game, which is winning the physical battle, and the defense does a good job getting a takeaway or two because of the amount of times that Jacoby Brissett will throw the football, I think they got a great chance of having a productive day.
Defensively, do they have a calling card? What stands out to you?
I mean, just okay. I mean, I haven't studied a ton of them. I mean, but they've got some personnel guys that are good. The safety's a really good player.
Baker's a really good player.
He's been a good player for a long period of time. The first-round pick, Walter Nolan hasn't shown much yet.
Well, he's only played, I think, 3 games.
Right. He's been hurt.
His first game actually was huge. I mean, he had a sack, tackle for loss, batted pass. I mean, he was everywhere in that one. Then he got hurt again. But he did play this past week.
Yeah, their defense, I think, is an area that the Jaguars' offense should be able to have, I think, I don't want to say a great day, but they should have some productivity.
Got to have this one. Got to have this one.
I mean, it's a big one. I mean, look, I think it's a big one just because, you want to be able to go ahead and start stacking a few wins.
That's right.
And the Cardinals are where they are. You want to take advantage of where they are and where you are.
I mean, if you get this one, the path to 10 wins is abundantly clear, right? Beat the teams that you should beat from that point forward in the Titans and the Jets. Well, you'll get there.
It is the league, and every week is, you're playing a good team that can beat you. Just look at the Houston game. I mean, that's one of those things. But, the one thing that I hope is that this football team comes out with the intensity level and the level of focus and kind of that controlled aggression that they started this past game with, because it was very evident that it was just a different mindset in this past game compared to the previous game in Houston. If they have the same mindset, they'll be successful.
All right. Well, with that, Logs, before we wrap up with you, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Big Surse in the house. Good morning.
How you doing, gentlemen?
We're all
Logs,
right.
what's good with you?
How's the ACC looking?
You owned it. You win, you owned it.
In other words, not great.
Not great for us.
Not very often I get to say that, Leon. You know that.
You know, every other decade.
That's about what it is.
So, Leon, we just spent the last 2 hours we'll probably spend this week looking back and reflecting on what the Jags did. Time to turn our attention to the Cardinals beginning tomorrow. What do you guys have on tap today?
Well, we're going to talk Jags, and we're going to talk playoffs, which my Hurricanes may not make.
Oh, college playoffs. Gotcha.
Yeah, college
playoffs. All right.
And we'll talk Jaguars. It's okay to talk playoffs.
Why not? Right. I mean, they're in position right now.
Absolutely.
Go out, win another one. You win this week, and because of the tiebreaker, you'll move ahead of the Chargers in the pecking order.
Well, just don't. What Lageman was just talking about. Just don't take any of these teams lightly.
Oh no, you can't afford to take them lightly. But when you size them up, tail of the tape, this one is tougher. But Tennessee and the Jets, those are teams that are on the low end of the talent totem pole right now in the NFL. You just got to get those 3 games that you've got coming up. That's why if you get this one, man, I mean, anything less than 10 wins would be an utter disappointment. For
Arizona is one of those places, Leon, that if you're a player, you go there and get forgotten about.
That is true.
It's like NFL purgatory.
Yeah, it is. It is. Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's continue to make people forget about the Cardinals this week. Sirs, have a great show.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Logs, give us the rundown. Where are we going to catch you this week?
Same as usual. Got Jaguars happy hour at 4:00 with JP Shadrick, Coach Mark Duffner. And then Jaguars HQ at 5. At 7 o'clock, Jaguars All Access with Brent Martineau and Kai. And a player to be named. And then outdoor show on Saturday. And then game day on Sunday from Glendale.
That's right. 4:05 scheduled kick for the Jags East Coast time. Amen. I was asking Tony, any chance we get flex to 1 o'clock? That would be fantastic.
I don't mind it when they're home, but on the road.
Yeah, I don't. Give me 17 1 o'clock Sunday kickoffs, man. That's me. I understand the fans are different. They want some primetime action. They want whatever they want.
Okay with primetime too, but it's got to be home.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not.
This travel thing, getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Have safe travels.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If not expedited travel.
And next week, I'll be joining you guys from a remote location. For Thanksgiving week.
Okay.
But looking forward to it. Hopefully we can have the same kind of juice that we have today.
Let's get a dub. Give us a reason Just get a dub, man. Just get a dub. By any means.
I'm all for it.
Necessary. All right. For Jeff Lageman, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today, and keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.